Right then, welcome back to the channel. The lads are back in pre-season training today, which means that we're going to start to get a look at some of the players that are likely to be going on the tour. If you can hear some cheering going on, I'll just show you. Just over my shoulder there's a stadium. The cool little gaff that Adidas have built. And at the moment, there's a game going on there, which is BBC versus ITV. And you've got like Roy Keane, Gary Neville playing for ITV. BBC haven't really got anyone proper playing for them. It's a lot of the production staff. Rio's just got in goal, made an absolute fucking tit of himself, but I'm sure you'll see that on his vlog. Mick Richards has been in goal for most of it and looks unbelievable. But yeah, all the rest of the big names not there. Bit of a disappointment. I think BBC were winning, so we'll see who wins in that. But what a cool little game that was. Good to see Roy Keane again. Well happy with that. And speaking of Roy Keane, now this kid's not going to be like Roy Keane, but he is a tricky little defensive midfielder. So last year at the Carabao Cup final, we saw Erik grab hold of Kobbie Mainoo and giving him the one day, your day will come, you'll be winning trophies, blah, 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 blah. The next season, you see Kobbie Mainoo doing all he can to deliver trophies for Manchester United and Erik And this year, he grabbed Toby Collyer in a similar sort of fashion. And I'd love history to repeat itself. I think the odds for that exact thing to happen again are a little bit unlikely. But either way, let's have a look at Toby Collyer, because I think he's going to be one that we might see on the tour this time around, especially because of the lack of options in his specific position. Right lads, gather around. You have heard me banging on about Manscaped for ages, mainly discussing the virtues of a well-trimmed ball bag. But today we're going to move a little bit north, and something that you might have actually seen, my beard. Manscaped isn't just a master of below the belt grooming, they have conquered beard territory too. And I know this is groundbreaking news, let's delve into the details. Now, we are all well acquainted with Manscaped's brilliance for the downstairs department. They've been many a saviour of many a date night and many a ball bag. And you know the Lawnmower 4.0 by now. I'm not going to tell you about any of the features for it, because if you don't know them, then you're never going to know them, right? It's a certified hero for the nether regions. But they're here for the beards now as well, and they've got the beard hedger. It is a cordless miracle worker that is both tough and gentle. It takes down facial forests in a single stroke. It's got 20 different lengths of settings. It gives you the power to totally customize your beard without cluttering up the bathroom and having a million different attachments. Now, they've also got another member of the band, and it's the Handyman. That is a dual-sided foil razor that has got your back, whether it's your face, whether you're going clean shaven or just tidying up a little bit around the neck. It is the epitome of comfort in the shaving world, and it's got a seamless and nick-free experience. So listen, if you want to give your beard the VIP treatment that it absolutely deserves, get over to manscaped.com, use the special code Howson. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. And while you're grooming the jewels, let's not neglect the crown. With Manscaped, who said beauty had to be a pain? Let's keep it neat and tidy, top to bottom. Now, he is, like I said, he's a bit of a tricky, clever kind of defensive midfielder that has been finding his way through United's academy system. We got him 2 years ago when he was 18 from Brighton, which makes him 20 now. And there wasn't a load of data on him, really. And that's potentially why he's kind of gone a little bit under the radar with everyone. Midfielders playing at academy level don't tend to get the same kind of attention as the goal scorers or the chance creators. Sometimes that's the same with a defender or a goalkeeper as well. It's quite hard to really identify genuine ability in someone that's not productive when it comes to just the goals and the assists. But he's two-footed. And there is a little bit of a buzz around him. Well, there's starting to become a little bit of a buzz around him. He's got that ability to control tempo, which is a massively underrated ability to have. He's doing that in the academy. Obviously, it remains to be seen if he's got the potential to do that in the first team. But the technical ability is really, really obvious. And I think that he shines as a technical player in an environment surrounded by technical players. So that tells me there's something genuinely special about him there. Now, he does have immense defensive abilities as well. He's got excellent reading of the game, excellent coverage. You see him scanning just pure constantly in terms of scanning and making tiny little adjustments to his position when the opposition are on the ball. And I think having that awareness and that sort of instinct to defend, coupled with the technical ability that he has on the ball, makes him a real prospect for United. So if we see him on tour, and if you start watching him, you will see, I think the first thing to notice and the first thing to check for is the scanning. He is one of those midfielders that is, the play style is quite pleasing on the eye, but if you just watch him, I don't know how many people do this, and I think you would really enjoy and learn more about players by honing in specifically on what that one player is doing, by just watching him and not watching where the ball goes. Watch him in possession and out of possession. And that's when you start to really see what a player is about. And like I said, he's pleasing on the eye, and he's a constant scanner. And coupled with those things, there's like a natural ability to kind of control a game. Now, because of how deep he plays in, you're not really seeing him coming out with assists. He got 1 assist this season, which obviously is not great. But there's a quickness to his play, there's a simplicity to the way he plays, and obviously I mentioned the tempo setting, but the fact that he's so technical makes him very press resistant, and it just comes with a natural ability to control how the game is going, when to speed it up, when to slow it down, when to just hold the ball, and when to throw a direct ball in for someone to run onto. And like I said, he's only got 1 assist, but he's made chances. Forwards haven't necessarily been as clinical, and he could have and probably should have finished the season with more than just the 1 assist. And again, the potential's there for him to create chances from deep a little bit like that. People will compare him to Carrick because of the sort of way he is technical, and the way he defends isn't like smashing into people and crashing around, and the way he moves the ball from back to front. There's going to be a lot of comparisons with Carrick, and I think it's a pretty fair one, to be honest. He's that style more than, say, a Roy Keane or even a Mainoo, actually, because Mainoo, you see moving, he's a little bit higher up, and you see him wanting to dribble a little bit more than you do with Toby. So he's ready for his shot. Like I said, he's that little bit older as well, so he's not coming through as a teenager, he's coming through at 20, where you're probably thinking he really needs to start getting in and around the first team now if it's going to happen at United. But this season he's been training consistently with the first team, so I think if he does appear, he's going to look a little closer to the finished article than the pure raw, the 17, 18-year-olds that you sometimes get to see. But I think that'll have done a lot for his confidence. I think it'll have done a lot for his experience bank. And I think seeing the level at which Mainoo has taken to the first team this season should give anybody in that academy a real confidence in their own abilities. And for a young midfielder, he's going to have been working, yes, with the likes of Mainoo, but he's been working with Christian Eriksen, whose playstyle suits his a lot. Seeing the likes of Casemiro and Bruno, he's got a technical coach in Erik Ten Hag, and it must be brilliant for the lads in training to be able to see the level that those lads get it to. And it has to have an impact on why they look so composed and so comfortable when they come into the first team. How does he fit in? Well, obviously Casemiro, I say obviously, it's not necessarily sewn up, but Casemiro realistically is on his way out, right? So with him on his way out, am I saying Toby Collyer's just going to step in and replace Casemiro? No, I'm not. But whoever comes in to replace Casemiro requires a backup, and United do not have the ability to be able to go out and sign a backup with a transfer fee, in my opinion. I think if you saw a young player with a profile of Collyer, you would buy him as a backup to your main guy. But we've already got him on the books. So I think this is the season that you're going to see Collyer getting some minutes in the League Cup, getting some minutes at the end of games to freshen it up a little bit. And I think he'll go on the tour. And I think if he goes on the tour, you're going to see 45 a game out of him, I would think. I don't think he'll play 90s because I think he'll still mix it around a little bit. But this is the time that you should be integrating the youth. There's been 2 international tournaments going on this season, this summer stand down, if you like. Preseason starts now. A lot of your first team players are still involved in the latter stages of those cups. They're only just going on holiday now, which means that for those first couple of weeks of preseason, you're going to need to be playing football. So his development is going to depend on the opportunities that he gets, and then can he capitalise on those opportunities, getting minutes occasionally in the Premier League. And then when he gets those opportunities, can he do what Kobbie Mainoo did and was like, hi, I'm here now and I'll be taking your spot? Because we all want to see that. We'd all love to see that. I also think it's not inconceivable that we see him going on loan because of his age. And when you look at the sort of loan that James Garner got at Forest, didn't necessarily lead to anything at United, even though it probably should have done. But it secured a big move to Everton for him. I think for his development, if he's not going to be involved regularly with the first team, I think having him in and around another team, getting minutes on loan would be a real positive kind of thing, especially if he's playing somewhere top flight or possibly even Championship. United have got youth ingrained in our DNA. The club's best periods have all featured a heavy dose of academy graduates playing their best football and featuring consistently. Every single time we've conquered Europe, we've done so with a core of homegrown youth in the squad and in the starting 11. And this team is no different. Even in our worst periods, the youth have been there and they've been a shining light in that. So it looks like pre-season is probably going to be the first opportunity that we get to see Collyer, to find out what he's got in first team football. But I think it's the perfect platform for him, just that. And we'll find out whether he's the truth or if he's going to end up in a lower division, or if he's just got what it takes to play Premier League football, but not at United. If you've watched him, please let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, stay tuned and let's see how he does on pre-season. And let me know who you'd like me to cover next coming through the academy, and we'll get a video out. But from me in Berlin, see you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.